Hey everybody, Meta stock is looking great. This is what I always say. You look for a great company that's kind of oversold, and then what do? You buy at the bottom. When it gets good news, you're going to make a lot of money. We're going to look at the charts and the news and see why Meta stock is going up so much. Let's go. First, I'm going to show you the chart for Meta and what I mean by buying the dip. This is a big dip because this is the weekly chart and we're down a lot from here all the way down to here. This happened before, back in February, right? It went from here all the way down to here. And if you bought the dip back in May, after the long downtrend from February, you made a lot of money. The dip was at $479 and went to $795. That's a huge gain, a huge profit if you bought the dip. We could be in that area once again. We have a 760 top right here, and then it went all the way down to 581. Even if you bought the dip at 581 and you sold at 627, where we're at now, you made a lot of money. That's big profit, huge gains. That's why you always wait and buy the dip on these good stocks. Stocks that are in the Mag 7, stocks that have a future. So here's a chart on a weekly, and I just wanted to show you how you buy the dip. It's very important. You may know it, but once again, very important. Now we're going to go to the news, and then we're going to go back to the chart. I'm going to show you the resistance and support on where Meta can go next. Will it go up? Will it go down? If it does, what price targets are we looking at? Here's the news first. Before we get to the news, really quickly, I want to show you the 1 day to the 5 year. 5 year Meta is up 126%. 1 year, 11%. So not too much gain because we're only up 11% in the past year. But what does that mean? There's a chance that we could be at a bottom for it to go much higher if we're only up 11% in 1 year. Year to date, 4.75%. 6 month, down 2%. 1 month, down 16%. And in the past 5 days, up 6%. This could be a recovery phase from that dip of negative 16%. So here's some news for Meta that made Meta very bullish today. Meta is in talks with Alphabet's Google to purchase billions of dollars worth of Google designed AI chips for its global data centers starting in 2027, according to the report. The negotiations also involve Meta potentially renting Google Cloud's Tensor processing units as early as next year. The discussions reflect Google's effort to push broader adoption of its TPU, which have historically been used only within the company's own data centers. Opening the technology to external customers would expand Google's position in the market for AI processors. So this is big for Meta and Google. A segment dominated by NVIDIA. So this is not too great for NVIDIA, but NVIDIA is still a strong stock. But it could definitely make NVIDIA price per share decline a little bit. And this is why. Meta is one of NVIDIA's largest customers with as much as $72 billion in planned spending this year. Securing a supply agreement with Meta would give Google a significant foothold as demand rises for alternative chips amid high cost and tight availability of NVIDIA hardware. Other AI developers, including Anthropic, have recently expanded commitments to Google chips. You know, Google is going up a lot. Big AI deals going on with Google, Anthropic, Meta, and probably more in the future. And I came across this. I was just searching on Google and I saw, will Meta stock reach $1,000, right? Could it happen? It's possible, but it caught my attention. And it said, yes, it's possible for Meta to reach $1,000. Just remember, this is AI overview, so you can't take everything 100 based on what you see here. But it was very interesting what I read. Gave some nice points for optimism for Meta. It says, yes, it's possible for Meta to reach $1,000. And many analysts are optimistic about its prospects, with some projecting a price target over $1,000 in the coming year or so. This optimism is driven by factors like strong user engagement, improved monetization, growth in its AI-powered advertising capabilities. And you know, Meta is big on advertising, right? And why is there so much optimism with Meta? AI integration, strong financials, advertising dominance. They definitely have that. And analyst ratings. They're very positive for Meta. Analysts love Meta. The financials for Meta has been great. The company has demonstrated strong revenue and profit growth, a trend that analysts expect to continue. I think it will. And one last point before we get to the charts. Meta's AI strategy is showing early signs of success, with AI innovations helping to improve user engagement and ad effectiveness. So that's going to be good for user engagement. Meta's business model revolves highly over user engagement. Now let's get to the charts. right now, 12:15 Eastern on my side. The price is currently at $628, up $15. So pretty much up 2% for today, which is really good. And we have a nice uptrend for today. This is the opening of the bell here, and we're just currently going up, right above this Bollinger Band right here, the yellow Bollinger Band. And we're still doing pretty well, even while we're up $15, right? We're still doing good. It's a very good sign. A lot of retail, a lot of institutions are probably getting in. Google is a huge, and Meta and Google together, it should bring Meta's price up drastically. But let's start with the weekly chart. I always do that on all my videos when I cover stocks. I start with the weekly and daily, the 4 hour, maybe I go down to hourly. So the weekly chart looks real good, as I mentioned before. 4 weeks red, and we're deep red with these 4 weeks because this large candlestick right here. But now we have this green candlestick, which overtakes the last week's candlestick and almost the previous week before that. So it's looking pretty good. The high of this candlestick that we need to break to be in a really bullish uptrend is going to be that $635 mark. That's going to be a big resistance for Meta. And when we break 635, that's going to be really, really big, because that pretty much confirms an uptrend is on its way, and we're pretty much going to keep going up. Got to break that 635 though, and then the next one after that would be 658. But that's still a nice ways to go, 658. But the first thing to do, break that 635, and that's going to be big. It could happen any day. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen later on this week, because today we moved up $15. So another big move or two, it can be broken just like that. Let's check out the daily. If the weekly looks good, the daily looks good. 3 green candlesticks in a row, and we're coming close to that 628 to 635 resistance right here on the daily chart. So between 628 and 635 is going to be a resistance, but it looks like we might break that 628 soon, because we're almost at 629. But just know 628 shouldn't be hard to break, and we just broke it right there at 629. The next resistance on the intraday is going to be 635. 635 is going to be the next target once we break 628, 629, and clear it. What I mean by clear it, we got to break it and stay above it. Don't want to dip below it. You got to break it and go right above it and hold that area. And then 635 will be the next target. And here we go for the hourly, looking really nice pre-market. We had 3 nice green candles, and total 6 hours of green candles. Very bullish stock. It seems right now overall AI and tech is having a nice run. So this is also pushing Meta up. AI and tech usually trade together, so Meta is also following along. So let's draw some resistance for Meta. The first resistance I'm looking at is going to be right here at this 630 area. Got to break that 630. This is the intraday resistance I'm talking about. The other resistance is a little bit further out. But first thing we need to do is break that 630. It may happen because AI and tech is kind of moving hard right now. Then after that, we're talking about the 631 and then the 632.88 or 633. After that, once we break 633, we're in the clear. We don't have too much resistance after that. We can move pretty strong. But the main goal is to break 628, 629, and 633 and stay above it. That's the main goal right now. 629.18. So 630 could be on its way shortly. And here's the support for intraday. First one is going to be right here at the 624.31. And the next one, we're talking about 618. But I don't see it going down that low based on what's going on right now, because Meta has had a huge dip, and it could be at that point where it's oversold, right? So when it's oversold, a lot of times it just keeps going up for a while. We're at 629.30 right now, so that's very nice. 639.34, looking good. I like it. I like the movement. So that's where we're looking at as far as Meta. If we have a big decline, the next one will be at 604 support. But that's a really far down support. And for that to happen, got to be some bad news in the market or something wrong with the data reports. Or maybe the interest rate cut may not happen for it to go down to 604 again. So that's going to be the main support, 604. The main resistance is going to be right up here at the 640. So we got the main support at 604, the main resistance at 640. And you have the intraday resistance and support right there. First one, intraday support, 618, 624. And then the first resistance is going to be at 630.05. And we're coming up to that right about now. Probably break it within the next couple seconds. And we're coming close to that resistance at 630.05. If we get a nice push, we could test that resistance. But we'll see, because we are up a lot. Because the low for today, pre-market was 610. And now we're at 629. So That's a big move. Even if it doesn't break that 630 or a 631 today, we had a good move today. Looking great. So no problem with Meta coming down a little bit or consolidating because we had a huge move. All right, everybody, please subscribe. Like the video if you like what you see and you love Meta, because this could be a nice opportunity to get in with Meta, especially if the AI and tech sector starts to uptrend again. And also, comment if you have any questions. And thank you so much. Have a great day.